The Seafair Festival has been a part of Seattle history for the past 74 years, featuring the Torchlight Parade, hydroplane races, and Fleet Week, honoring those who serve. And today, I am joined by historian Felix Bunnell, so we can take a look back. Felix, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
We're so happy to have you here. So tell us about Seafair and its post-World War II origins.
You know, World War II really changed Seattle radically. Tens of thousands of people moved here. The city became much more diverse. You know, it boomed because Boeing was building airplanes, and people like the middle class really established themselves in that late 40s period. And so it made sense to have some kind of a summer carnival to take advantage of the wonderful water, whether it's Lake Washington or Puget Sound or Green Lake. And so that post-war period, a time of optimism, great economic growth, let's put on a big carnival. They created this group called Greater Seattle. There was stuff going on in 1949. The Blue Angels were first here in 1949. The first official Seafair doesn't appear till 1950, but it really gets going the year after that when the hydroplanes really take hold.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so the hydroplanes, you were chatting with me about this. They were actually happening all around the country at the time, but it wasn't until one of the local boats won that it really brought all of that to Seattle. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine Seattle without the Seahawks or the Mariners. But in the old days, hydroplane racing, boat racing was huge in the Northwest, even back in the 1920s. So a local boat called the Slow Motion 4 won a thing called the Gold Cup, the big national race in Detroit in 1950. That meant they could bring the race to Seattle in 1951. So the Gold Cup was held here in 1951, and that put Seattle on the map in terms of everything. That was like the Super Bowl of boat racing, and the Slow Motion 4 won it that year as well. It was just an incredible way to put this focus on the water that surrounded Seattle as a place not only for people to do recreational boating, but to celebrate like victories in an athletic contest. Lots of radio stations covered it, all the TV stations covered it. It was just, it's hard nowadays to understand one single sporting event taking over everyone's mindset for that big a part of the summer. It really was over the top.
Wow. So around the city, was it certainly something that everyone was paying attention to at that point?
Oh, little kids used to make hydroplanes out of pieces of wood to tow behind their bicycles. I mean, you couldn't make this stuff up. I mean, the whole city just really embraced something to root for. These hydroplanes like Slow Motion 4. Everyone knew the names of the drivers and stuff and the boat designers. It was just, it's really, there's nothing that really compares to it nowadays. Because nowadays, like, big sports are sort of segmented. Certain people like basketball or football or whatever. Everybody loved hydroplanes.
Wow, that is so wonderful. So walk me through how the festival has evolved over the years.
Yeah, it's interesting. What I really love about Seafair, the thing that hasn't changed that much, are the neighborhood festivals, like the Kitty Parade in Wallingford, or the West Seattle Haiu Days, or the Ballard Seafood Festival. And so it just changes year to year. I mean, the hydroplanes are not the big thing they once were 70 years ago. It's different. We have so many more choices now. But the natural landscape hasn't changed. The beautiful summertime weather hasn't changed. There's still this spirit, still this desire of Seattleites to get together and celebrate summer, whatever that looks like. And Seafair, I think, has responded pretty well to that. I mean, you still have the boat races, the Torchlight Parade now during the daytime. They had a daytime parade back in the 1950s, so in some ways they're returning to their early roots. I mean, it's always been sort of something for everybody. I mean, if you have little kids, especially, those neighborhood festivals work great. If you're a certain age, you want to go out on the log boom and get a boat out there and watch the hydroplane races, that works out well.
Yeah.
Or if you just want to like cower in your basement while the Blue Angels are rattling the windows, you know, like telling your dogs to calm down. It's that thing. You have no choice. You have to participate. Now, that's kind of cool when we're all kind of involved in the same thing. I love it as a way of just reminding everybody that we're all in the same town, regardless of, you know, what we look like or what we do for a living or whatever. Seafair kind of unites us regardless.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, there's also Fleet Week, where we honor those who serve. So talk to me about how that has played a role as well.
Yeah, that's changed a lot. I mean, Seattle in the 1940s, right before Seafair was founded, I mean, the Navy is huge here. Navy bases everywhere, lots of naval activity. I mean, it's sort of, you know, you think of them as the VIPs along with the other elected officials. The Navy was a big force here. That's different now, right? There's still a Navy base in Bremerton. There's still one in Everett. But there's still this sense of honoring the people who serve by having ships you can go aboard. I remember going on a ship as a little kid, touring a naval vessel. Still have very vivid memories of those little, stepping over those little things on that you didn't trip over and not hitting your head and stuff. It's like, it's a really cool thing to combine that gorgeous natural waterfront of Elliott Bay, the fact there's so many people who live here, serve in the Navy, and we can honor them for a week like that with the Blue Angels flying overhead and everything. It's a great summer carnival and a great way to kind of, in a gentle way, not sort of force people to be patriotic. It makes perfect sense to celebrate these wonderful things about the water and where we live.
And we are so excited to celebrate. Felix, thank you so much for joining us and giving us a look back. Always fun to see how far we've come.